All right, thank you, Ms. Secretary. I will begin. I mentioned in my open remarks that I appreciate your commitment to upholding the sanctity of human life in your capacity as the Secretary of Health and Human Services. The pro-life community was deeply concerned by numerous actions that was taken during the Biden administration that undermined the right to life and the conscience of rights of pro-life Americans. For example, the Center for Disease Control revealed at the end of the Biden administration that the CDC funded nurses in Mozambique were performing abortions that violated the Helms Act, which prohibits U.S. foreign aid from funding abortions. In addition to that, the Biden administration punished states by denying them Title X funding for refusing to provide abortion counseling in violation of state law. Can you talk to us for a couple of minutes or whatever about steps that you see the department are now taking to protect the right to life and the conscience rights of pro-life medical providers and also medical students?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, every abortion is a tragedy. I don't believe that our nation can live up to its role as a moral authority around the globe when we have hundreds of thousands, if not a million, abortions per year in our country. And under President Trump's leadership, I have ended federal funding to the kind of the programs that overseas programs that fund abortions or counsel abortions. And we have withheld the Title X funding from NGOs that refuse to differentiate the funding streams so that the federal government and my agency can't tell whether money that is being sent to that agency is being used for legitimate family planning issues or it's being used to counsel or fund abortion. And we have said that as soon as they differentiate that, we would begin refunding them. I think at this point, the administration is now fed up with that. And the budget that is proposed by OMB is a budget that cuts out Title X funding because they don't believe that these NGOs can actually, in good faith, comply with the law and with the EOs.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate that, and like I said, I appreciate your commitment to that for the president's vision. One of the most significant challenges facing rural hospitals is the area wage index, which is used, of course, by the Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services. And as you know, under the reimbursement formula used by CMS, mandates that the area wage index remain budget neutral, and high wage hospitals receive a higher reimbursement rates, whereas low wage hospitals receive a lower reimbursement rate. This system has the perverse result of preventing low wage hospitals, many of which are in rural areas and underserved communities, from paying higher wages. By keeping these hospitals at the lower end of the wage spectrum, they cannot compete against higher paying hospitals, increasing their risk of closure, which I referred to earlier, and locking them into a downward spiral. During the first Trump administration, CMS attempted to address this disparity. However, the Biden administration did not successfully defend the policy when it came to the courts. Therefore, rural hospitals again confront this downward spiral of the CMS area wage index. Can you tell us if CMS has taken any steps under your leadership to review the impact of the area wage index on rural hospitals? And can I get your commitment to work with me and, of course, with Administrator Oz on a solution to this very critical problem that's affecting so many rural hospitals?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. As you point out, the Trump administration initially tried to address this disparity, which is destroying rural health care. And as you know, many of these rural hospitals not only provide critical access to care, without them, patients would have to drive sometimes hours to get to an emergency room. They're absolutely critical in those regions, but they're also important economic drivers for many of those regions, and they're institutions that provide cohesion to those communities. Oh, if we want to preserve rural America as a livable space with dignity, enrichment, prosperity, and good health that they deserve, we need to keep those hospitals in and those treatment institutions in good shape, in good financial. We need to keep them financially viable. The Trump administration, the initial Trump administration, 2016 to 2020, tried to do that. Unfortunately, to redress those disparities. Unfortunately, as you know, as you pointed out, the Biden administration did not robustly respond to a court challenge, and we got a very bad decision from that. That said that my agency has no power to redress this disparity. But I pledge to work with you and with Congress. The change has to be statutory, and we will do our job at providing technical support, including the kind of studies that you just mentioned that show how badly this disparity is wounding rural America.
Yeah, well, thank you. And like I said, someone who represents a rural state, it is certainly, I hear about it almost every day or very frequently, so I appreciate your commitment to that. With that, let me recognize